Let's bring in our guest, Taylor Koss, a former prosecutor and now criminal defense attorney, and Jeffrey Wolf. Guys, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Interesting. And Jeffrey, I want to ask your opinion on what we've seen so far from Susan Giordano. This is obviously someone who cares about Bob Durst a great deal. He's given her money, though. Earlier, she testified that I think he had given her at least $300,000, maybe a little more over the years. What are you thinking of what you're seeing from the prosecutor and just that beginning of the cross-examination by David Chesnoff?
That what they're trying to do is they're trying to head off at the pass anyone who's going to come in and try and help Durst with this witness. And I think the prosecutor is putting on a bit of a show. What I think he's doing is banking that the jury likes him more than they like that witness. And so that's why he's laughing at her. That's why he's cutting her off, being condescending. And I think what he's banking on is that there isn't a single person sitting on that jury that thinks, even if they're not sure whether he killed Susan Berman, that Robert Durst is an honest person. And so by asking that question and asking it last, I do agree it's a bad question. But I think what he is banking on is that when she answers that question in the affirmative, that the jury is going to disregard everything she has to say, and thus everything that Robert Durst's character witnesses and people who are going to have his back come in to say, because they are absurd enough to call him an honest person. That is what
All
he's
right.
banking on. It's a risky
Okay.
strategy.
Welcome back to Night Court here on the Law and Crime Trial Network. I'm Anjanette Levy. We are on verdict watch in the state of Colorado versus Mark Redwine. However, the jury has been sent home for the evening in that case. So deliberations will resume in the morning. We just wanted to update you on that. And we are, of course, following the state of California versus Robert Durst. He's accused of murdering his friend Susan Berman. And before we went to break, and before that, we were talking a little bit about some of the testimony of Susan Giordano, one of Bob Durst's good friends, in which she talked about storing 64 boxes for Bob Durst. 64 boxes of his personal belongings that she had stored for between 5 and 6 years. That's quite a bunch of stuff. And we want to bring in our guests to talk a little bit about this. Jeffrey Wolf, a criminal defense attorney, and Taylor Koss, also a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. Jeffrey, I want to ask you about that first, the 64 boxes and the questioning about that. How did you feel about how that went? Is that a relevant line of questioning? We know there was money in those boxes. There were some other items. There was a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is going to turn on what actually ends up being in those boxes. And I think that's what's coming next, right? You lay the foundation of where did those boxes come from, and then you talk about what was in those boxes. And again, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that this witness has dirty hands. This is a witness who is here to help Bob Durst. And that's what they were arguing about, is that they called this adverse witness, and they're going to prevent the defense from trying to cross examine with leading questions because she's on their side. And so they basically are playing a very, very dirty game of pool here by using the statutes against the defense so that they can get this friendly witness for the defense to look like a fool on direct and then prevent a meaningful cross.
We do want to get back into court, though. We're going to get back into court as soon as we take a quick break. So stay with us. I'm Anjanette Levy, and you're watching Night Court here on the Law and Crime Trial Network.